Okay, so now let's start with our lab one. The first question is like, you don't have to again submission guidelines. If you are following method one, then this is the process in the written format. But if you are just following method two, then you can just upload the last .py file with all the 5 programs in one file, like how I have shown in the previous video. Okay, now let's get into this. When you first read a question, I want you to understand what the question is asking and then how to address or how to build up or design a solution for that question. So here the question is write a program that gets and displays the user's name, age, and income. So you're basically getting and displaying the user's name, age, and income. So we have 3 variables from the question, right? That is user's name, age, and income. And so whenever in the questions, if you see the word get or basically get, that means that you are using the input function. So you are basically asking the user to enter the information and then you are displaying that information. Displaying by meaning you are using the print function. So let's start with the problem. I'm just trying to open my idle. Okay, so here is my idle. And inside this one, I'm creating a new file and I will be following approach 2 because I assume most of you are going to follow method 2 itself. So I'm just going to follow that. And then I'm going to create labs. And inside this labs, I'll have the first Lab1 chapter 2 with your last name, whatever your last name is, please have that as your file name and save. So it is automatically saved with the extension .py because we are in the idle itself. So idle will have the extension .py. Okay, so now let's get to the first question and make sure that you have comments for almost all the important parts for your labs and programming assignments. Okay, it says gets and displays the user's name, age, and income. Okay, so let's do this. Says program 1. First variable that you are defining is name, right? And we remember we have variables towards the left side of the assignment operator, and then the expression that is assigned to that variable is towards the right side of the assignment operator. So here we are using the input function. And as name is a string or it has characters to it, we are not converting that to integers or floating point just about now. So we are typing enter your name. This message can be anything. The next variable is age. Now we want to convert this and into integers because it is age and I'm expecting a whole number, not a real number. So I'm asking the user to enter your age. Next is salary, if I'm not wrong. And salary can be in float or in int. I just wanted to show you the representation of floating conversion. So that's the reason I have chosen to use float here. So in the previous semesters, the students have responded by saying, why do you need my salary or why do you care about my age? Frankly, none of us care. So it is just for an exercise itself. So please don't take this seriously or personally. Now, as we already have the variables defined inside the print statement, there is no need for us to use the codes, right? Because the variables are predefined in the program. So I can just type name, age, and salary, which are the predefined variables. And then we can see the output. So I'm just hitting Control S, F5, and it's asking for me to enter the name. Let's say I'm entering this name, age is this, and salary can be anything. So that is your name, age, and salary. If you want to enter some other information, you can also have this statement instead, right? Print name is, comma, name, then comma, quotes, age is, comma, age, comma, and then we have salary is, salary. You can also have colons here, just so you represent that it's like this, name age is, salary is. Oops. Okay. Enter a good number and also with floating points. So this is from the previous print statement, and now this is from the new print statement. Yeah. Okay. So that is the end of first program. So let me pull up the second one now. So once we are done with, you don't need to have two print statements. You can comment one. So I'm just commenting the, I'm just commenting the second one by using the hashtag symbol. So now let's make a separation by using comments. And then let's have program 2. And as I've mentioned, before you start the new program, make sure you select the previous one, go to format, comment out region. This way you don't have to execute the previous one again and again. And when it comes to comments, as I've mentioned, like every lab needs comments. So when you are, I'm not going to type the comments as well, but when you are going to type the comments, you can have the statement, like as you are using input function 3 times, there is no need to have the same comment 3 times, but you can say input function is used to get the data from user. And then here you can just have a statement that says displaying the data, something like that. That is enough. I just want to see that if you are all understanding what you're trying to do. That's it. Commented. Now let's move on to the second program that says write a program that calculates the percentages of for the scenario. Suppose the retail business is planning to have a store-wide sale where the prices of all the items will be 20% off. We have been asked to write a program to calculate the sale price of an item after the discount is subtracted. Here is the algorithm. So you are getting the original price of the item. So you are asking the user to enter the original price of the item. Next, you are calculating 20% of the original price. So this is the amount of the discount. So you have another variable, that is discount is equal to 20% of original price. That is 0.2 multiplication of original price. So whatever the user has entered. Next, subtract the discount from the original price. This is the sale price. So you have sale price is equal to original price minus discount and display the sale price. So you are printing the sale price. Okay, so this is just the hint, that is when you are working with percentages, make sure that you are using the decimal point in the correct location. We have 20%, that is 0.2. Like it is not 0.02. So make sure that you have that knowledge before you attempt any percentiles questions. Okay, so with this information, let's start the second one. Okay, so here first let's start with the comments, that is getting the original price. Can be the first comment, and from the next problem or even from this problem, I'm not going to have the comments. You are supposed to add comments whenever you are making a submission. Okay, so make sure you have the comments right. So we have original price is equal to, and you are getting that from the user, and price can have decimal values to it, right? So like for example, if you are looking at speakers could be 14.50 or 19.99. So they do have some decimal values to it. So that is the reason I'm considering it as float. Next, input, enter the original price of the item. Next, we are calculating the 20% of the original price, that is the amount of discount. So I'm creating a variable that is discount is equal to, and I'm calculating 20% off of the original price. And make sure you have the same variable names. If there is any mistake from above, like you have declared original price with the underscore, make sure you have the same variable name here as well. And then you are subtracting the discount from the original price, that becomes the sale price. So sale price is equal to original price minus discount. And then finally, you are displaying the sale price. So we can say sale price of the item is sale price. Okay. So now let's execute this program and see what the output will be. So it is asking enter the original price of the item. Let's say the original price is 15.96. So the sale price is 12.768. So what if you do not want to see 3 decimal points, but maybe you just want to see 1 or 2 decimal values? So in that case, from the chapter 2, we can use format function, which will have first the attribute followed by point to F inside the quotes. And then close the bracket. Now execute this again. Enter the original price of the item. Let's do 17.125. So the sale price of the item is 13.70. Or let's give the same numbers to just check if it is working correctly. So I'm going to give 15.96 again. So the output is 12.77 instead of 12.768. So this is an example of usage of sale price. Sorry, the format function. Okay. So I'm done with the second problem now. Let's move on to the third one. The first lab is relatively easy. The programs might get a little bit complicated, or like, when we are introducing new concepts, obviously we'll have to practice new concepts, right? So when we are introducing new concepts, the programs may not look as simple as the as lab 1 and then lab 2. So please make sure that you have enough understanding on the basics. If not, please go through the lectures again and then practice your labs well. Now the next program is write a program to calculate the averages. And here this says, suppose you have taken 3 tests in your computer science class and you want to write a program that will display the averages of the test scores. Here is the algorithm. Get the first test score. So when you see the term get, that means we are using the input function. By this time you should understand that we are using the input function whenever it says get. Second is get the second test score. You are first for the first statement, you are having first test is equal to float input into the first test score. Second statement is second test is equal to float input into the second test score. Third test is equal to float input into the third test score. Next, once you have all the 3 test scores in your variables, you are calculating the average by adding the 3 test score and dividing it by 3. So that is the meaning of average, right? So what is average? If we have like 10 items, we are adding all the 10 items and then dividing it by the total number of items, which are 10. So we have 3 items. So we are adding the 3 test scores and then dividing that with 3. And next, display the average. That is by using the print function. Okay. So let's start. For the program 3, we are starting with first test score is equal to float input enter the first test score. Second statement is second test score. is equal to float input, enter the second test score. Next is third test score is equal to float input, enter the third test score. Now we have three test scores. Let's define the variable average. So average is equal to, we have to add the three test scores, right? So I'm going to take the first test score plus second test score plus third test score, and then divide this by 3. Next, we are printing the average. So average of your scores is average. Okay, now let's execute this program. Enter the first test score. So let's say this test score is out of 100. So I'm just giving 45.25. Second would be 96.24, 74.12. This is the average of your test scores, 71.87. Again, make sure that you are having comments and also try to understand the problem. So we are first getting the first test score. As test scores can be in decimal values, like can have decimal values. That's the reason we have converted the input, which is originally in string format, to numbers. That is, in this case, to be particular, we are using it, converting that into floating point number. Same goes with the second test, same is with the third test. For the average, we are adding the first, second, third scores and then dividing it by 3. And then you're printing the average. So which is print average of your scores is average. And now let's just comment this part. Alt 3 is the shortcut for that. And then have program 4. Now for the fourth program, suppose you want to deposit a certain amount of money into a savings account and leave it alone to draw interest for the next 10 years. At the end of the 10 years, you would like to have 10,000 in the account. How much do you need to deposit today to make it happen? You can use the following formula to find out. We have the formula P is equal to F divided by 1 plus R to the power N. P is the present value, F is the future value, that is 10,000. Okay, N is the annual interest rate. R is the annual interest rate, and N is the number of years that you plan to let the money sit in the account. That is 10 years from this question, right? Yeah. So now it would be convenient to write a computer program to perform the calculation, because then we can experiment with different values for the variables. Here is an algorithm we can use. So first is get the desired future value. In this, like from the question itself, we do have the future value fixed to 10,000, or you can, get any future value from the user. Next, get the annual interest rate. Even that is fixed, right? Okay, now, so we are getting the annual interest rate from the user. Get the number of years that you want the money to sit in the account. So you're again asking the user. So basically get the future value from the user itself, get the annual interest from the user, get the N, which is total number of years, and then calculate the amount that will have to be deposited. So that is P, which is the amount that has to be deposited today. Next, display the result of the calculation in step 4. So you're basically displaying the present value. In steps 1 through 3, we will prompt the user to enter the specified values. That is because of get. We will assign the desired future value to a variable named future value. the annual interest rate to a variable named rate, and the number of years to a variable named years. So we can have the variable names from the algorithm itself, or from this question, it is also specifying the total, the terms of the variables. In step 4, we calculated the present value, which is the amount of the money, by using this formula. Yeah, from the formula itself, that is 1. In step 5, we present or we display the present value variable. So this question is basically lengthy, but it's nothing. The question is asking you to do this and then perform the calculation by using this formula. So this might seem lengthy, but it's nothing. It's a very small question. Okay. So for this one, let's first start with the present value. No, we have to calculate the present value. So let's first start with the desired future value. Future value is equal to float, input, enter your future value. I mean, like no user will have like, future values with respect to like, no one will have 10,000.50 cents. That's just absurd, but I'm just giving it as a case. Like what if you can always use int here, but anyway, it's up to you. And then annual interest rate has to be in the floating points because we always determine interest rate with respect to percentiles, right? So it is either 3% or 5% or 0.3% or something like that. So here, let's consider rate with float. Annual interest rate. Next is number of years. That has to be int. Just trying to make some sense from the words. Enter the number of years. Now calculate the present value using the formula, which is future value. You remember it till then? Okay. Then divided by open parenthesis or open bracket 1 plus R in our case is rate. And then what do we use to determine power? We use 2 asterisks. So and then n is number of years. So make sure that you are using the same variables that you have defined here. So future value, that is f, rate, number of years. Now you're getting the present value. Next, to print present value. So that is amount that needs to be deposited today is, when you are like talking in terms of amount, we know that it's in dollars. So I'm also attaching a dollar symbol there. And then present value. Okay. Now let's execute this and see. Enter your future value. Let's say it's 100,000. Interest rate is we are entering that in percentile. So let's say 3.5. Number of years is, let's say 10 years. So amount that has to be deposited today is this. That is because we have this wrong. 3.5. Let's execute this again with different numbers, just so we can have the good difference. Let's make it 10,000. Let's make this 0.35. That is 3.5. Number of hours will be 10. Yeah, that was because I had the rate wrong. This is This has to be converted into percentile before I enter the information. So now it is this much. So what if I don't want to see many decimal values? I can use the format function, right? Format present value, which is the variable, and then let's say 0.3 or even let's do 0.3f, because we can do 0.3f. I just want to show you guys that we can also do 0.3f. Then let's enter the exact numbers. 10,000, 0.35. Yep. 350. And this in the last sentence, you can see that my sentence have started somewhere else, but my prompt is exceeding the page. So I can either directly hit enter, which also acts like a continuation, or you can also use the continuation parameter, that is this. Wherever you want to break the sentences, you can use the continuation operator and it will still be considered as one single statement. Okay, now let's comment the fourth program and then move on to the fifth one. I hope this is visible and clear. If it is not, please let me know so that I can fix this from the next lab or next, basically lab, because programming assignments are take-home assignments. Labs is something that I'll discuss in the class, like basically like this. Labs are usually much more, interactive, but as this is asynchronous and it's online, there is no way for us to make it interactive. So that's the reason I'm making this and I'm posting the video, so that please go through this. Please try to understand the format, understand the syntax, understand the flow of the programs. If there are any questions, any sort of difficulties, please let me or the TA know. Okay, so now we are starting turtle graphics. So I'm assuming that when you are starting this lab, you should have at least viewed all the videos with respect to or based on chapter 2, and there we have turtle graphics. So write a program that displays the stars, star names, and constellation lines as shown in the figure below. So this is our star names. And then when you look at this, you are first defining two things. This is by using turtle graphics, and the functions that we are going to use are dot dot, like turtle dot dot to represent or to make a dot on the plot, and then turtle dot write to write some information on a certain location. The coordinates of the lines are represented below. So here are the coordinates. So when you have coordinates, the function that you'll use is go to. So turtle is anyways in the center and it's facing towards the east, right? So turtle is here 0 0. From here you are going to 40 20 and then writing a name there, and from here you are going to 80 180 and 70 200 minus 40 to minus 20, and then writing the names. Okay, so this is how this should look like. This might seem like a lot, but it's just a lot of typing. But otherwise, with respect to logic and everything, this is much easier. It's it's an easy program. So what should be the first statement when we are typing or when we are working with turtle graphics? We have to import the turtle module. So that is import turtle. Now that we have the turtle imported, let's start. So turtle is anyways in the center, right? It's 0 0. So if you want to see the turtle, you can just turtle dot show turtle and then execute the program. And I have a different window with the turtle, which is at the center of the plane, and the coordinates are 0 0. And if you want to look at the coordinates, you can do this as well. Where are the coordinates displayed? should be displayed here. Okay, let's try with Xcar. Okay, apparently they don't show anymore. But they have to be displayed here. Okay, cool. Forget about that. Let's directly start with the program. So the first thing is, now that we are at the center of the plane, which is Alni Lam or Alni Tam. That is Alni Lam. First thing that I'm going to do is turtle dot dot. That will make a dot in the center of the plane. And then I'm going to write Alni Lam. Okay, just so to confirm if this works, let's execute the program, and then you will be seeing this as your output. So you have the name of the constellation and the dot. Okay, so now that we have that done, next thing is let's do Mintaka, and we have to move to coordinates 4020. Also notice from 00 to 4020, like there is a line. So I'm not using any pen up or pen down. So I'm just asking the turtle to go to that location with X and Y coordinates being 40, 20. So now that the turtle is at that location, which you can check. Yeah. So this turtle is at this location. And okay, there is no need to hide turtle as of now. So let's make this turtle dot dot and turtle dot right Mintaka. Now let's go to the next part, that is Mesa, which has the coordinates of 80 and 180. So that is again turtle dot go to 80, 180, and then turtle dot dot to make a dot, turtle dot right MIESSA, if I'm not wrong, that is the correct spelling. MIESSA. So after this statement is executed, the turtle will be up top and it's right here. So from here, let's go to the next coordinate, which is minus 70 and 100, if I'm not wrong. I'm wrong, minus 70 and 200, and that has the name Betelgeuse. Okay. So for that, notice when you are moving, from Mesa to Betelgeuse, there is no line, right? So you are not drawing anything on the plane or on the coordinate. So that is the reason why I have turtle dot pen up. Now I'm asking the turtle to go to that location with minus 70, 200. So when you execute the turtle now, you will see the turtle at this location, which is minus 70, 200. Or it has not drawn anything. So now let's do turtle dot pen down and then turtle dot dot. Next turtle dot right. That will GUESE. Okay, cool. From there, let's move to Alnitak. And Alnitak has coordinates minus 40 and minus 20, right? Yeah, that is Alnitak. And we do need to draw a line, so there is no need to do pen up. So you can just directly ask the turtle to go to Alnitak is minus 40, 20, minus 40, minus 20. And turtle dot Right. So if you notice, we are basically repeating a lot of statements because of this type of program. But like, when we are discussing functions, you will really appreciate functions because there is no need for you to repeat the statements. And also loops, my bad. When you're introduced to loops, you'll appreciate loops so much because there is no need for you to repeat stuff again and again. Now let's make the connection from Alnitak to Alnilam, which is at 0, 0. So let's ask the turtle to go to 0, 0. In that way, it has now made like a line. So a line has been drawn. Yes. So see this. Now the title is back here. So we have to complete the bottom side of it. Okay. So from 0, 0, you can again directly come back to Alnitak, or if you do not want to, like, redraw on the same thing, we can just do pen up turtle dot go to Alnitak is minus 40 minus 20. Now turtle dot pen down. My God. Yes. Turtle dot pen down. Here, let's go to that coordinates. Turtle dot go to, which are 90, 180. So minus 90 minus 180. Now that the turtle is there, turtle dot dot. Next, turtle dot WRIT, right? Because we are naming the constellations here or naming the coordinates. It is SIF. Okay, we are still left with Rigel. That is the only thing that we are left with. So for that, as we see that there is no line drawn, doing pen up and turtle dot go to. What are the coordinates for Rigel? It is 120 and minus 140. Next, turtle dot pen down. Turtle dot dot. Turtle dot right. RIGEL. Yeah, RIGEL. Okay. So let's execute this, and here, oops, I did not draw anything. Oh yeah, yeah. So there is just one missing line, that is from Rigel to Mintaka. Okay, let's go to Mintaka. The coordinates being Mintaka, I guess it's 40, 20. Yeah. So now let's ask the turtle dot go to, we are at pen down 40, 20. Mintaka is 40, 20. Now let's execute this. Okay, so now this is the executed constellation. So we don't want to see the turtle here. Like whenever, it is a good practice not to show turtle. So for all the turtle graphics, even if in the question you see the turtle being shown, make sure that you have this turtle dot hide turtle as well. It will just look much more finer with this. That's it. That is everything. So with loops, with we can just reduce this maybe 15 to 20 statements to 5. So it just becomes easier. Okay. So with that, we are done with your first lab. I hope this is not as scary or lengthy as it looks like. And all the labs, like at least the labs will be like this. And again, we'll be discussing all the labs. I'll be posting all the lab videos as well. But if you are, comfortable and if you want to start early, that is the reason why that I have first made the assignment available to you all, so that if you want to try working on some of the lab questions, feel free to do so. But if you want to just look at the lab as a reference, you can always use this video as your reference. Okay, make sure when you're submitting the assignment, make sure that you're using comments, like make sure that you're applying comments. Okay, so this is it. That is your lab 1. The deadline for submission is 28th. So make sure, and this should not take more than like 1.5 hours or 2 hours. So make sure that you're spending some time on this one and getting this done on time. Okay. With that, see you in the next class for the next video. Bye, guys.